In this recording, I'm going to describe how to complete Cornerstone task number 2, Regional Interactions. You'll be using this Google Doc to complete your Cornerstone task. The very first thing that you'll want to do is make sure that you've made a copy of this document so that you can edit it. Once you've clicked on File, Make a Copy, you'll want to change the name of your document for your first name and your last name, and change your teacher name. Then you'll want to choose a location for your file to be located. You may choose your World History 1 folder or just your regular Google Drive. Make sure that you remember where you save it so that you can go back and find that document later to submit on Canvas. After you've made a copy of this, you'll now be able to edit this Google document to complete your Cornerstone task. Make sure that you are only editing this document using Safari. You cannot edit this document on the Google Docs app on the iPad. You may need to delete the Google Docs app on the iPad in order to open this document in Safari, which is fine because you can go back later and reinstall that using self-service. You will need to open this document in using Google Drive in Safari. Once you're ready to edit, you'll need to double-click on the image below. When you double-click on the image, it will open a Google drawing where you can edit your map with the certain things that have to be on your map. You should look back at your Cornerstone task description or at the list underneath the drawing to know what needs to be included on your map. We've included a Google drawing here so that you can edit the map and create your map drawing. You'll need to use two tools, the scribble tool and the text box. You will use the scribble tool to describe your different trade routes that you will include on your map. So for example, if I was to include a trade route that was to go from Japan to Africa, it might look a little something like that. You'll then want to change the color of the line so that it matches the key. You can make the line thicker by changing the thickness to 1 through 3. You should not make this line any thicker than 3. You'll need to make the line whatever color using the pencil tool, whatever color corresponds with what's on the key. Once you've finished drawing your line, you'll need to go back to the mouse button so that you can select the different items on the screen. You'll also use the text box to label certain spaces on the map. So for example, I may have added text box up here, and then when I double click on that text box, I can type and add the different labels to the locations on the map. You can make your text smaller or you can make your text bigger. Your text should probably be no bigger than a size 12 on your screen. If you click the 3 dots, you have other text options that will come up. For example, making your text centered or by changing the alignment. You also may choose to put a text box around your actual box, and that will create more of a text box feel. You then will also want to create a text box for you to add the different keys. So for example, if I was to add textiles, I'd want to copy and paste the emoji from the key and then drag and drop that on my map to where textiles are located. You should not make the background any other color but transparent, and then just drag and drop those icons on your screen. You should use as many of those icons as necessary to add those things to your map. Once you have finished editing your map, you'll want to click Save and Close. You can always come back to your map and edit it more by double-clicking on the map. You can see that my map updated automatically after I was finished updating it. As I talked about on the map, the different things that must be included on your map are below the map here, and you can check those off as you go. You cannot add a checkbox to these different checkboxes. However, you could, for example, come up here and highlight them green for showing that they have been completed. Once you've completed the map, you've completed the first part of the Cornerstone task. And then you'll want to come back down here to the summary section to add a summary. You should add your summary here as per the directions. You'll want to make sure that you have at least 3 paragraphs, one for religions, one's for goods, and one's for technology. Each paragraph should describe the different religions, goods, and technologies and how they impacted other foreign cultures across the different continents. After you've finished, you can then submit this Google Doc to Canvas for your submission for the Cornerstone number 2 task. If you have additional questions, be sure to ask your teacher for additional help before submitting.